Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's always a pleasure to see you again. So today is a very special day for me. No, it's not my birthday, but rather I have reached my first 100 subscribers on Farouk Academy. So it means a lot to me. I just want to say thank you guys for supporting the channel, okay? So in today's lesson, we will talk about the Mapkit framework. Indeed, this framework provides APIs for developers to display maps, navigate through maps, add annotations for specific locations, add overlays on existing maps, etc. With this framework, you can embed a fully functional map interface into your app without coding. Cool, right? Starting from iOS 9, the Mapkit framework allows developers to provide pin customization, transit, and flyover support. Okay, with the release of iOS 11, Apple introduced a new marker annotation view that gives the annotation a modern look. Okay, I will go over some of these features today with you guys. In particular, you will learn few things about the framework, such as how to embed a map in a view and a table view cell, then how to translate an address into coordinates using geocoder, then how to add and customize a pin on map, and finally how to customize an annotation. To give you a better understanding of the Mapkit framework, we will add a map feature in the Cafegram app. Okay, after the change, the app will display a small map view in the detail screen. When a user taps that map view, the app will further bring up an interactive map that takes up the whole screen. Cool, right? So it's gonna be very fun today. Let's get started. By default, the Mapkit framework is not bundled in the Xcode project. To use it, you have to first add the framework and bundle it in your project, but you don't need to do it manually. Xcode has a capability section here that lets you configure frameworks for various Apple technologies such as Maps and iCloud. Okay, you can enable the Maps feature under the capabilities section here. Okay, just flip the switch to on like this. Okay, and Xcode automatically configures your project to use the Mapkit framework. Cool. Now what we are going to do is to add a non-interactive map to the footer of the Cafe detail view. When a user taps the map, the app navigates to a map view controller showing a full screen map of the Cafe location. So we first start to modify the detail view to support the map function. Okay, we actually add two new cells in Interface Builder. Okay, one shows the how to get here label and the other shows the map view. Okay, so now open main.storyboard and select the table view of the detail view controller. So here is the detail view controller, and this is its table view. Okay, in the attributes inspector, change the value of prototype cell from 2 to 4 here. Okay, Xcode will automatically add two more cells in the table view. Remove the label of the two new cells. Okay, and this one too. Like this. Perfect. So we will decide the third cell first. This cell will show a label and a gray separator. First, drag a label from the object library to the cell. Okay, so here, label like this. In the attributes inspector, change the font to text style headline. Okay, here, like this. Also make sure the automatically adjusts font option is enabled. Modify its title to subsection title. Okay, so here subsection title like this, okay, and pick this. Okay, cool. So how can we add a separator? The trick is to use the UI view object, okay, like this. In the object library, drag a view object and place it in the cell like this, okay. The default size of the view is quite large, so go to the size inspector here, change the width to 343, press enter, and the height to 1, okay, here. Now it looks like a line separator. Make sure it's placed under the subsection title. So what you can do is to put it down like this by increasing the value of y-axis. Okay. And decrease the x value, okay? Because I think if you try to select it manually, it's not gonna work correctly, okay? Like this, perfect. Okay, and optionally change its name to separator, okay? So here in attributes inspector, maybe not here, but here, we can call it separator, okay? Separator, like this, press enter. In document outline and set its background color to light gray. So background color to light gray. Okay, cool. Now we are going to define some layout constraints for the components. First, select the separator and click the Add New Constraints button. So here I already selected it. And then click here, okay? Check the height option to add a height constraint so that its height is always limited to 1 point, okay? Also, next, select both the subsection and then add one constraint. Next, select both the subsection label and the separator like this. Click the stack button to embed them in a stack view here. Stack view, okay. In the attributes inspector, set the alignment option to fill here, okay, and spacing to 5, which is already the case, okay. Now select the stack view we just created and click the Add New Constraints button, okay. Here, set the value of top to 11, which is already the case, okay. The value of left to 16, same for right, 16, okay. And the value of bottom to 3, okay, here, like this. And make sure that the constraint margins option is unchecked, okay, and then click Add for Constraints to confirm here, okay. Cool. In order to support dynamic type, select the top constraint and change its relation to greater than or equal in the attributes inspector. So here, like this, cool. That completes the design of the subsection title cell. Let's move on to the map cell. Similar to labels and views, you can find a map view object in the object library here. Okay, so map, this one, okay. For the map cell, I want to make it a bit larger to accommodate the map view. So select the last prototype cell and change its row height to 215, okay. So where is it? Here, 215. press enter. Okay. As soon as you increase the row height, the cell goes beyond the boundary of the table view. For easy editing, we can make the view controller a bit larger. Select the Cafe Detail View controller in Document Outline, in the Size Inspector. Change its simulated size from fixed to freeform, okay? Like this. Cool. Set the height to 900 here. This stretches the detail view controller to 900 points. Now you can easily edit the last prototype cell, okay? So drag a Mapkit view from the object library to the last prototype cell, okay, like this. Again, we need to add some layout constraints. Select the map view and click the Add New Constraints button here. Make sure the Constraint to Margins option is disabled here. Then set the value of the top side to 10. And the other sides to 0, okay, like this. 0 and finally 0, okay. And then add 4 constraints. Like this, cool. After that, select the map view and click again the Add New Constraints button, okay. Check the height option to add a height constraint. Lastly, click the top constraint and change its relation to greater than or equal in the size inspector here, like this. Okay, cool. We want to keep the constraint flexible so as to support dynamic type. If you select the map view and go to the attributes inspector, you will find several options such as zooming and scrolling for configuring its behavior here. As this map view is just displayed in a table cell, I want to keep it less interactive. Uncheck the scrolling, rotating, and 3D view options. Scrolling, rotating, and 3D view option, okay? There are a couple things we need to set up. We haven't created the Swift files for these two new prototype cells, okay? So now in Project Navigator, right-click the View folder here, okay? And choose New File. Use the Cocoa Touch class template. In the next screen, set the class to Cafe Detail Separator cell. Cafe Detail Separator cell. And its subclass to UI Table View cell, okay? Like this. You can remove that. Okay, then click Next and save it. And once the file is created, insert an outlet variable for the subsection title label, okay? Here, add IB outlet, okay? Var title label to be type of UI label, okay? Like this. Okay, then go back to main.storyboard and select the cell containing the subsection title. Okay, so this one, okay. In the attributes inspector here, okay, set the cell's identifier to Cafe Detail Separator cell, like this. Press enter, okay. Then go to the identify inspector here and set the custom class to Cafe Detail Separator cell. Okay, cool. and press enter. Next, associate the outlet variable with the subsection title label. Right click the cafe detail separator cell here, okay, in document outline, then drag from the title label here to the label of subsection title to establish the connection, okay, like this. Cool. We have completed the implementation of the separator cell. Now let's continue to set up the prototype of the map view. Now go back to the project navigator again and right click the view folder and choose new file again, then select the Cocoa Touch class template and here name the class cafe detail map cell, okay, cafe detail map cell, okay, like this, and set its subclass to UI table view cell and then click next and save it, okay. Once the Swift file is saved, update its content like this, okay. So first of all we need to import the Mapkit, okay, and then here we are going to create our outlet. So add ib outlet like this, var map view to be type of mkmap view, okay, cool, perfect. Here we've made a couple of changes. First, we add an import statement at the beginning of the code. The other thing is the map view outlet, because the class mkMapView is made available through the Mapkit package. We have to add the import statement. Okay, now go back to Interface Builder to establish the outlet connection. Select the prototype cell with the map view, this one, okay. Go to the attributes inspector and change its identifier to cafe detail map cell, okay, like this, cafe detail map cell, then press enter, okay. In the identity inspector, set the custom class to cafe detail map cell, okay, cafe detail map cell, and press enter. Next, establish the connection between the map view variable and the map view, okay, here, map view with that, cool. We are almost done with the two new prototype cells. We have to make some changes to the cafe detail view controller.swift file, which is here, okay. First, the total number of cells in the detail view is now changed from 3 to 5. So here we're looking for the number of rows in section method here, okay, and change its value to 5. Also, we are going to update the cell for row add method like this. So here, cell for row add, okay. We need to add case 3 and 4 to handle the two new prototype cells, okay. So here, case 3 is equal to let cell equal to table view dot dq reusable cell, this one, okay. Describing, okay, cafe detail separator cell dot self, okay. Here index path, okay, and then has cafe detail separator cell. Okay, and now we can say cell dot title label, okay, dot text is equal to how to get here. Okay, and don't forget to return the cell, okay, at the end. Return cell, okay, and finally case 4, which is equal to let cell equal table view dot dq reusable cell with identifier, okay, string always describing cafe detail map cell dot self, okay, here index path, and then as cafe detail map cell, okay, cool. And here we just return the cell, okay, like this. Cool. So for case 3, the 4th row, we create a cafe detail separator cell and set its title to how to get here. And for case 4, we return a cafe detail map cell. Okay, so now let's hit the run button to have a quick test. When you select a cafe to navigate to the detail view, it shows a map normally. Okay, so as you can see here, okay, it shows a map. Cool. I'm gonna do another try. This one for instance, okay. Cool. So this is the power of Mapkit. Without writing a line of code for the map view, we already embed a map within our app, okay? For now, it only displays a default map based on my current location, okay? But it's really cool, right? So we haven't completed the UI yet. When the user taps the map, it will navigate to another screen which shows a full screen map. Now let's implement the UI of the full screen map. For this map, we will implement it as a separate view controller, okay? So go back to main.storyboard and drag a view controller from the object library, okay? View controller. To the storyboard like this, okay? Resize the map view to fit the view and then click the Add New Constraints button to add the required layout constraints, okay? So here, Mapkit view, okay, like this, cool. And now I click the Add New Constraints button, okay? Set the value of top, left, bottom, and right sides to 0, okay, like this. Make sure the constraint margins option is unchecked and then click Add for constraints to confirm, okay, like this. To bring up a full screen map, when a user taps the map cell, we have to set a segue between the view controller and the cell, okay? So now hold the control key and drag from the cafe detail map cell here to the new map view controller to create a segue, okay? Like this. Select show as the segue type here. Once the segue is created, select it here, okay? And set its identifier to show map in the attributes inspector, okay, here. Identifier to show map like this and press enter, okay? If you compile and run the app, tap the map in the detail view, the app should navigate to a fully functional map, okay? So I tap this view and I get there. Okay, cool. And now that you should know how to embed a map in your app, let's get back to the Cafe Gram project. We first add a pin annotation to the map in the table cell. In Cafe Detail Map cell here, Cafe Detail Map cell, insert the following code method, okay? So just write with me and then I will explain to you, okay? So here, func configure, okay, with the one parameter which is a location to be type of string, okay? Then get location, let geocoder to be type of CL geocoder, okay, with empty parentheses like this, okay. Then print location, okay, geocoder dot geo code address string, okay. I think it's this one, okay. So the first one is location. Here press enter, okay. Okay, here just write place marks, okay, place marks, and here error, okay. And then we have to write something if we have an error. So if let error equal error, then print error dot localized description, okay, then return, okay. Otherwise, if let place marks equal place marks, then get the first place mark, let place mark equal place marks, but the first one like this, okay. Then add annotation, at annotation equal mk point annotation, this one, okay, with empty parentheses. Then if let location to be equal of place mark dot location, then display the annotation, okay, annotation dot coordinate is equal to location dot coordinate, okay. Then self dot map view dot add annotation, and then you write annotation under parentheses, okay. Finally, set the zoom level, set the zoom level, okay. Let region to be equal of mk coordinate region, this one, okay. And then I think it's this one, maybe, yes, okay. So here you have to write annotation dot coordinate, here 250 and here 250, like this, cool. And don't forget self dot map view, set region like this, okay, region that we have defined just here, and then animated false. Okay, and here as a side note, for Xcode 9 users, MK coordinate region here is equal to MK coordinate region make width distance, like this. Okay guys, cool. So this map cell is responsible to handle the map view and display and annotation on the map. Okay, so we add a new method called configure here. Okay, this line that accepts the cafe's address, a parameter. Okay, I won't go into the above code line by line as we've discussed the usage of geocoder and annotation earlier. Okay, in brief, we first convert the address of the selected cafe into coordinates using geocoder. Okay, here in most cases the place marks array should contain a single entry, so we just pick the first element from the array and then display the annotation on the map view. Okay, and the last two lines of code are new to you. Here we use the MK coordinate region function to adjust the initial zoom level of the map to 250-meter radius, but you can still annotate the location without these two lines of code. Okay, you can try to remove these lines of code and see how the map differs. Okay, now we are going to edit the cafe detail view controller. Here, file, update case 4, okay, of the self for row add method. Okay, so cell.configure here, and here you just write cafe.location. Cool. Okay, we just add a line of code to call the configure method with the cafe's location. If you run the app now again, okay, it should correctly display the cafe's location on the map. Okay guys, here this one for instance. Okay, cool. We can try with another restaurant, this one for instance. Okay, perfect. So this is the map of Paris. Okay, let's move on to the implementation of the full screen map. As usual, we first create a custom class for the map view controller. In the project navigator, right-click the controller folder and select new file. Okay, create the new class using the Cocoa Touch class template and name the class map view controller. Okay, map view controller, like this. Make sure you set it as a subclass of UI view controller here. Okay, and save the file as usual. Okay guys, again we first import the Mapkit framework. Okay, here, like this. Next, declare the following outlet variable for the map view and another variable for the selected cafe here. So add ib outlet var map view, like this, mk map view, and var cafe to be type of cafe, like this, with empty parentheses. Okay, with an empty initializer. Okay, cool. The outlet variable is used for establishing a connection with the map view in the storyboard. Go to Interface Builder and select the map view controller now, which is there. Okay. Under the Identity Inspector, here, set the custom class to map view controller. Like this. Cool. Then establish a connection between the outlet variable and the map view. So here, map view, like this. Okay. To add an annotation on the map, update the ViewDidLoad method of the map view controller class to the following code. Okay. So here you can remove this comment. Convert address to coordinate and annotate it on map. Okay, so let geocoder to be equal of CL geocoder, okay, with empty parentheses. Then geocoder dot geocode address string, okay, cafe dot location. Here press enter, and then write again here place marks, and here error. Okay, we have to define again the error. So if let error equal error, then print simply error. Okay guys, and then return. Otherwise, if let place marks equal place marks, like this, then get again the first place mark like this. Let place mark to be equal of the first value of the place marks array. Okay, so place marks like this, and the first value index is 0, like this. Then add annotation, okay, like this. Let annotation equal mk point annotation with empty parentheses. Then annotation dot title is equal to self dot cafe dot name, okay, and then annotation dot subtitle is equal to self dot cafe dot type, like this. Perfect. And finally, if let location is equal to place mark dot location, then annotation dot coordinate is equal to location dot coordinate, okay, like this. And finally, we display the annotation, okay, like this. Display the annotation, okay. So self dot map view dot show annotations, okay. So here you press enter, and then you just change these 3 letters by an A, okay, like this, and animate it through. Then self dot map view dot select annotation. Here you write annotation and animated to be equal, and animated is true, okay, like this. Cool. So the above code is very similar to the one we have just discussed, so I won't go into the code above line by line again. We convert the address into a coordinate for annotation. Once again, we use mkpoint annotation here, okay, to add a pin to the map, but this time we assign it with a title and a subtitle and use the show annotations method of the map view object to put a pin on the map. The method is smart enough to determine the best fit region for the annotation, okay? The new annotation marker in iOS 11 has 3 states. By default, when the annotation marker is not selected, it's in a normal state that appears smaller. Okay, in the code above, we invoke the select annotation method to select the annotation marker to turn it into the selected state. Okay, its icon will grow larger in this state. You will better understand what I mean about the size when you test the app. There is still one thing left before testing the app. We haven't passed the selected cafe to the map view controller. In the cafe detail view controller class, here, insert the prepare for sender method like this. Here, okay, you can remove that and remove that like this, and then write prepare and choose this one. Okay, cool. Then you write if segue.identifier is equal to show map, okay, then let destination controller to be equal of segue dot destination as map view controller, okay, and then destination controller dot cafe is equal to cafe. Simply. Cool. We simply get the selected cafe and pass it to the destination view controller. In this case, it's the map view controller class, okay? Now let's compile and run the app. Okay, so here, tap the map button in the detail view and you'll see a pin on the map. Very cool, right? And if you want to unzoom the view, I think you have to press Option on your keyboard to make appear two gray circles, and then I think you can unzoom like this by turning, okay? Cool. You have to know that you are allowed to change the look and feel of the marker annotation view, like customizing its color and icon, okay? As mentioned in the beginning of this lesson, an annotation view controls the visual part of an annotation. In order to modify the appearance of the annotation, we have to modify the annotation view. To do that, we have to adopt the mk-map View Delegate protocol, which defines a set of optional methods that you can use to receive map-related update messages, okay? The map view uses one of these methods to request annotation. Every time when the map view needs an annotation view, it calls the map view for method, okay? So far, we haven't adopted the protocol and provided our own implementation for the method. This is why a default annotation view is displayed. We are going to implement the method and customize the color and icon of annotation view. So now go back to map view controller here and adopt the MK map view delegate protocol here. Okay, MK map view delegate like this. Okay, in the view deload method, add the following line of code to define the delegate of map view. So we can write maybe here map view dot delegate is equal to self. Okay, so as a quick note, here we define map view controller as the delegate object of map view. Okay guys, next implement the map view for annotation method using the following line of code. So maybe, I don't know, here okay, we can also write that if you want. So mark like this, I think it's like this, customizing the annotation, and here write view for annotation like this and use this method. Okay, so first of all, set an identifier, so let identifier to be equal to my marker. Okay, like this. Then if annotation dot is kind of mk user, let me write the method, then I will explain to you. Okay guys, then like this. Okay, then return nil. Reuse the annotation if possible. Var annotation view like this, mk marker annotation view. Okay, map view dot dq reusable annotation view with identifier. Okay, so this one here, you write identifier that we set here. Okay, okay, as mk marker annotation view. Okay, then if annotation view is equal to nil, then annotation view is equal to mk marker annotation view with this one. Okay, annotation, and here identifier again. Okay, cool. Then annotation view dot glyph text, and here maybe if you press control command spacebar, we can put an emoji. I don't know which one you want, maybe this one. Okay, and also write annotation view dot marker tint color to be equal of UI color dot red. Okay, dot red. Okay, which you can also write without that. Okay, like this, because if you press option on your keyboard and then you click on marker tint color, as you can see here, we already know its type. Okay, so its type is UI color, so you don't need to write it again. Cool. And finally, as this method has an arrow and it expects an object, you have to write here return annotation view like this. Okay, cool. So let's go through the above code line by line. Every time when the map view needs to display an annotation, okay, the method above will be called, this one, okay? Before that, we didn't implement this method. In that case, the map view will use the default annotation. Basically, there are two types of annotations, place mark and current location, okay? So the user's current location is also a kind of annotation. The map view will also call this method when annotating the user's location. As you may know, the current location is displayed as a blue dot in maps, okay? Even though we haven't enabled the app to display the current location, we don't want to change its annotation view. This is why we verify if the annotation object is a kind of MK user location, okay, here. If yes, we simply return nil and the map view will just display the location using a blue dot. And for performance reasons, it's preferred here to reuse an existing annotation view instead of creating a new one. The map view is intelligent enough to cache unused annotation views that it isn't using. Similar to UI table view, we can call up the TQ reusable annotation view with identifier, okay, method to see if any unused views are available. If yes, we then downcast it to MK marker annotation view, okay, cool. If there are no unused views available, we create a new one by instantiating a marker, MK marker annotation view, okay, object. Once we get hold on the annotation view, we modify its glyph text and marker tint color, okay, properties to customize the look and feel. Cool, we're done. Press the run button and launch the app. Pick a cafe and tap the map button to see the modified annotation, okay? So here, for instance, this one. Cool. Very cool, right? Okay, and finally, Apple also lets developers control what goes on the map view. Here are the 3 new properties for you to control the content of a map view. So the first one is show traffic, okay? Okay, so map view dot show traffic equal to true. It shows any high traffic on your map view, okay? Then map view dot show scale, okay, equal to true. It shows a scale on the top left corner of your map view. And finally, map view dot show compass equal to true. It displays a compass control on the top right corner of your map view, okay? Please note that the compass will only appear when the map is rotated as a little bit away from pure north, okay? So now I'm going to relaunch last time my simulator and see what we get. So here, if I click on this one and then I click here, normally we should see the traffic, okay? So this this orange line represents the traffic, okay? And if I press option and then I turn my view, the compass appears, okay? And shows us where is pure north, okay guys? Cool. Okay, in this lesson, I've walked you through the basics of the Mapkit framework. By now, you should know how to embed a map in your app and add an annotation. But this is just a beginning. There is a lot more you can explore from here. One thing you can do is further explore MK direction. It provides you with route-based directions data from Apple servers to get travel time information or driving or walking directions, okay? You can take the app further by showing directions, for instance. So if you enjoyed this series, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, just do it. And that's all for today, guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.